Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about the CT side of Cash and playing A because we have another game coming up tonight. We've been playing a lot of Cash ever since we decided to ban Inferno instead of Cash. Cash and Mirage are our two most played maps, followed by Train. So I thought I'd make a little bit of content about this map. Now on A, even though it's the A site and A, like the letter A, is typically the bigger site, A on Cash is actually considered the small site, at least by me. And the reason I do that is because if you're going to solo, it's very common to have a single player playing A, where it's more rare to have a single player playing B. And okay, so the spots. You can play default, like you can play in the site, and then you can play any of these positions anywhere around here. You can even boost Shroud. Any of that I would consider playing in the site. Or you can play a retake type position. So anything on this side, even playing Fork to some extent, because of the quick getaway path. Playing Truck is very retake. You do need an op for that. Unless you just want to only jump spot for info kind of thing with a rifle. But yeah, anything over here is playing retake, and that's if you've just got one player and your highway guy is playing white box, it's generally a good idea to play retake on this site, because if they throw an execute at you and you're alone, you're not going to be able to hold it. So let's say you're CT, you're holding this angle, and they smoke highway, and they throw the pop flash that lands just about there. You're blind, okay, you have to fall back. You're holding this kind of an angle. You shoot the first guy coming around, and if they have the smoke here, your basic goal is to get a kill and then fall back through the smoke before they can get you. If you're quad, then you're just stuck. But if you're default, sometimes you can get a kill and fall back. But if they hit you properly, you're not going to make it. You're going to die. Or you're going to die as you're running back to Truck because they get someone forklift. So if you're playing alone on A and they throw this basic execute at you, these are the three most common smokes. Sometimes the team will throw a smoke up there instead of throwing the catwalk smoke. But every team will throw that smoke. Sometimes they'll throw that one, and even more rarely they'll throw that one. So they throw smoke at you. Your job, if you were playing B on Inferno, would be to hold coffins and CT. Make sure they don't push that so that we can retake. In this case, since there are no coffins to hold, your job is to hold forklift. Which is, it seems to be sort of not common knowledge that forklift is super important to hold. And the reason I say that is because if the terrorists have someone's sight, like you need someone on site, and it's good to have someone A main, but the third best place is to have someone forklift. Because if you have 3 terrorists alive in these 3 positions, you can actually hold off a full 5-man retake with just these 2 positions. Because you can have someone at quad and then someone at fork, and they can be peeking off each other. And it's going to be very hard to kill them without fleshing them out with utility. And late round Cash, there's not going to be a ton of utility that the CTs have. So, if as the CT, if you can hold forklift, that would be ideal. So you give them sight. You say smoke this off, and you say, okay, you're gonna molly fork, and you're gonna hold it. If you have, there's some nice flashes you can throw that land right on top of there, or you crouch, and then you throw like in the middle of these 4 dots, right there. Oh, did I miss? I did. There we go. You can throw that, and then peek around while this molly is up. Because it's very hard to hit you. You can even peek door and burn yourself. You can even peek door a little bit, play around here, But then when this smoke's fading, you're going to want to hide because you can get wrapped on. By then, your highway player should be coming up. So let's say it's Bushy. Let's say he's opping. Let's say they throw that smoke as well. Because if they don't throw the smoke, he can just, he has to worry about. If you don't want to get shot from top red, you can hold this, wait for them to peek you quad, and then shoot if they peek quad. Alternately, you can come up here and hold top red and hold the cross, go back to Z and go around truck. Like there's things you can do. Retake smokes. If you go up to these lines and throw at the top railing, you can smoke A main. Let's see if I can get it a little bit better. That's a better one. Actually, no, it's not. It landed in the same damn place. So anyway, you can smoke A main from here without peeking A main. The problem, you can also do it from truck, but you're visible. If there's an offer holding truck, you're visible when you throw that smoke. But it's a little bit better smoke. So that's also counter utility. If you're the truck player and you want to help the A guy, you can come up here and throw. Whoop. Oh wow, that was interesting. I'll probably die in the molly here, but whatever. And respawn. It's taking forever. So what that does is it mollies default. Wow, this is taking forever to respawn. And here we are. So throw a molly like that through the smoke. That'll slow him down a little bit and buy some time. Although often the highway player will spend his smoke at the beginning of the round throwing the boost molly. So if you don't have a molly, you can flash front red, like so. You can do a running throw or a standing throw. Oh my god, the running throw is really bad. Yes, don't do the running throw. Maybe a walking throw is better. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, just flash anyone coming out A, and then hold this. Maybe watch front red while the smoke's still up. But generally, try and make sure that your A player doesn't get wrapped. Because if he can stay alive forklift, even if he... So this will be Bushy's spot. Like if Bushy's opping, close range op shots on this guy, and you can even peek A main. I wouldn't peek this once the smoke fades. It's kind of a problem. But you can check on the guy door and then just hold. And if you really need to escape, you can ask point for flashes. But point should also be throwing flashes through the smoke to sort of help slow down the push. So that also Savage can either flank A main if that's what he's going to do, or he can fall back through Z and go truck. But you effectively, in order to retake this A site, you're going to need this highway to fork angle, A main, or truck. You're going to need two of those three in order to just not get torn apart on the retake. And those are some nades that you can throw. So that's the most common setup, doing 1A and then one highway, and that's how to fight off the main execute. Now, if you have two guys A, which is very common, where you'll have one guy pushed up forklift, and then the other guy either like up on catwalk or default. A good setup is sometimes you can do one default and then one NBK, and they can peek off each other. That's nice, or you can boost. Anyway, if we're having a hard time holding A, that's a nice setup. Is two guys sort of in this area so that you don't get smoked off if the execute comes through. Even though an NBK molly is pretty common, you can still just drop a smoke and get out of there. And then the T's are stuck behind a smoke, and then you can hold angles like this and hold the smoke, Try not to get pushed on the, or pushed from top red. But that's how you can play with 2 guys in the A site if you just want to hold it. And then the last thing I want to talk about is if you want to go aggressive on this A site. What's some utility you can throw? Obviously, you can go door and peek door, usually with a flash and a rifle. So someone will be highway. So maybe point wants to push. He says, "Bushy, flash for me," and then you get the little sound, throwing flashbang and open bang. It's useful to get the timing because you won't be throwing the flashbang. It'll come from highway, where you just lob one in there, and then right before it hits the door, your teammate just opens the door, and then you peek and get a kill, and then your teammate is still here to flash A main in case they try and swing. Usually you'll do this with an A main smoke. They'll throw at the beginning of the round, and then your teammate will miss the flashbang, obviously. Throw the flash, get you in, and then hold the smoke to help you get out. Anything else? Yeah, you can push A main with a flashbang like this. It's a nice quick pop flash. Doesn't pop super deep, but it pops high. So even if someone is, holding on top of this box, it'll blind them. Or what's something nice you can do is if you want to do 3A and push it, you can have 2 guys close A main and then a 3rd guy up here. So the 3rd guy can throw the flash, and then the close 2 guys can throw these mollies. For the first one, you go up to the divider between the windows, right above the right side of the garage door, and then you go 1 to the left and do a running throw. And that is for this box. Mollies work best, nades also work. Then for the second guy, he comes here under the boost, looks at the border of this brown part, up a little bit, does a run throw, and that'll get deep. And that's so that you throw molly, and pop flash, and then you swing, and anyone in here will be blind. They might be lockers. Although if they are lockers, you'll probably see them while you're throwing the grenade, the Molotov. And then the only part that isn't mollied will be right here. They might not be blind if they're playing counter flash, but if they try and fall back, they'll be mollied. If they push up, they'll be mollied. So pre-aim that spot, or there might be an AWPer in the molly. So you'll see, like Nico loves a good pre-fire on A. So he'll just throw a round down, like do a stutter step and throw a round where he wants, and then he'll continue with pre-aiming this spot. And then obviously smoke that and then rotate to B or rotate. Like maybe you want to push door after that if you don't see anyone A. But that's some stuff that you can do on the A site. Like if you're alone, your job is to give up sight, but maintain the forklift. Make sure they don't push up toxic on us, because if they can push up to highway, then we're screwed. So you want to maintain this spot. That's why if you're the A player, you want to save your molly for that, for right there. And then for the highway player, you want to use, if you don't use your molly at the beginning of the round, you can, that ladder's giving me problems. You can throw your molly default, or you can just throw flashes over there. So save some utility in order to help your A guy stay alive. And it depends on, who's who. Like if Bushy's opping this could be a really nice, angle to op, because you can get in and out of those peaks really quick. And this is actually pretty good no scope range. Oh my god, almost perfectly accurate no scopes. So this is good no scope range. Even like if you back up here, it's not great, but it's like if you need to fire one quickly before you get away, that's fine. Up here, you can be pretty confident that you're going to hit your no scope if you're on target. And also, it's going to be kind of hard if the molly's up, it's especially hard to see because the molly, I'll show you, the molly sort of clouds the vision over here because of the smoke. So, and if they molly forklift, cool, you can just hang out behind the smoke, hang out behind the smoke, make sure no one pushes it. If they do, like, I don't know, maybe you burst block them. You'll be CT, you won't have a Glock. You'll no scope them. And then when the molly fades, you'll come and hold this angle again. Other angles? Yeah, and then your highway player can come up here and help. Or come here and help. Like generally your highway player is there to sort of just get some kills and not die. But as the A player, you actually have the responsibility of holding fork. Then if you go into sight and you have two people, that's where you can actually talk about holding the sight. And in the scrim tonight, I want to talk more about doing 1B and then 2 middle and 2B, or 2 middle and 2A, so that you guys can actually set up a kind of crossfire in this actual sight area. You can do some cool stuff where you boost, like you can boost someone up here, where you'll see heads running across. I remember like a while ago, Bushy and I were doing where you jump up on the railing and you run boost someone up to boost. Back what they did in like on every round in 2014. So that's some cool shit. If you guys want to practice that today in a server. But yeah, if you're doing 2 on A, you can take these kind of positions. I mean, if you're opping, hold this. If you're rifling, hold a more passive angle. I mean, you will get flashed, but you can hide and just re-peek as they enter the site. What T's will do is they usually won't run up and swing like this. They'll run up and clear this, and then fall back like this and sort of go for the fadeaway shots towards the site. And if there's someone quad, they'll just hope that the mollies flush him out and he gets traded. Or you can do some 2-man setups in A main and door. And anyway, A is one of the most dynamic sites in the whole game because it gets a lot of action, but there's like almost pretty much everyone just plays one person here, but really there's tons for being a small site. There's actually tons of variability because it has that A main, door, highway, and truck. Like there's 4 ways in and out of that choke point. So yeah, I hope that gives you guys some tools on playing this site.